Okay, let's get started, everyone. So tonight is our class 8 of 8 of our continuing ed classes. And so we start again next Monday. And we decided most of them will be the same, 7 of them, but we're switching one out and we're gonna have like a different one every series. Like every time we do this, we'll have a different one. So next round of 8 classes will include a special bonus class right after convention of a class about all the new products. So that'll be fun, right? Anyway, so tonight's class is about women's health and hormones. This is a popular topic. People,
Yay!
women, really like this class. They want to know how they can get help with their hormones. And so I have not taught this class before. I've been to many classes. I've seen other people teach it. And I'm grateful for other leaders in doTERRA who share their wisdom, and I glean from that and create a class out of it. So I'm sharing wisdom from many people, okay? That being said, I haven't taught it before, so I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to take me, but I have a hunch it might be a little over 30 minutes because it's a hefty topic. There's kind of a lot to it, and I'm not even diving all the way into it. I mean, we could be here for a week if I did that. That's just the nature of hormones. It's a very complicated system. So are you guys okay if we go over a little bit tonight?
Yes.
You're okay? All right, I just want to get your permission ahead of time so you're not at 7:31. Get off, Kendra, it's time. So, okay, let's dive in. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about what hormones are, where they come from, what they do, why they become imbalanced, and then I'm going to give you how to naturally support and maintain balance. Sound like a plan? So hormones are not static. First of all, let's just address the first question. What are they? Well, hormones are protein chemical messengers that travel around our body, telling our organs what to do and what not to do, what they should secrete, what they shouldn't secrete. They're responding to our environment all the time, and they are never static. They fluctuate, right? Think of it like a vital sign. So for us as women, our monthly visitor is a good indicator to us as far as how things are going within our body. And even if you're in the later years and you no longer have your monthly visitor, or it's becoming more erratic, that is still an indication of what's going on inside your body, right? So yes. All of it relates. So with hormonal composure, we have all of these other indicators as well. I mean, as women, we have our monthly visitor, and actually men could have some of these hormonal issues as well, or imbalances. These are indicators that there are hormone imbalance is happening. So sleep. Do you have difficulty sleeping, or do you have low energy? Do you deal with mood swings or PMS? Metabolism, is there weight gain or weight loss going on? Do you have irregular cycles or deal with infertility? And then we have our transitions, where later in life as women, we sometimes deal with hot flashes or hair loss or poor memory. And then we have all of the phases of our lives: puberty, fertility years, premenopausal years, and then menopause. So there's a lot that happens and changes as we go through life, and we're going to talk about all of these tonight. So how do the hormones work? Well, first of all, the endocrine system is primarily where you'll find hormones and the organs and glands that produce them, secrete them, activate them, all of those things. Here you'll see what glands and organs are involved in the hormone production on the right-hand side. Is that right for you guys? Right-hand side? Then you add into that pregnancy, which is all about progesterone and estrogen and all of the things involved in creating life, birthing a life, nursing a life. We are our biological processes. So you can see our ovary and placenta are the two main organs that produce, well, they are the two organs that produce estrogen and progesterone. And we're going to talk about estrogen more tonight than progesterone. Not that progesterone's not important, but estrogen plays a big part in our discussion tonight. Now, on the left-hand side of that slide, you can see how they work. So here you have a secreting cell. This secreting cell has these hormones, and then the hormones are going throughout the body. The little pink dots are the hormones, and they're going around the body and trying to find those cells that have the receptor site that they can attach to. So they act like a key in a lock. They bind to the receptor sites on our cells, and those arms sticking out on that cell on the top, that purple cell on the top, represents a receptor site. The hormone is shaped in the same way as a key in a lock, right? So they can bind together, and then the hormone can give the message to that cell of what to do. So that's essentially how hormones work. We good? Basics, right? And then below that is that cell does not have the receptor sites on it. It's not a target cell, so the hormone's not going to go there. Okay, so it's a very specific process. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the big four of hormones: cortisol, insulin, estrogen, and thyroid. There are many, many more hormones, as you guys know, but we're only going to talk about these four tonight. So cortisol is like our fight or flight stress response hormone. It's the one that if you see, like back in the, people like to give this example. When we were millions of years ago, we saw a bear, and then the bear scares you. You're living on the, you fight or flight, right? You have this response like, do I run? Of course you're gonna run. You're gonna run away from a bear. The problem that happens in our life today is that this cortisol tends to always be present, like the bear has turned into other things. We're going to dive into that more. So that the cortisol, I can't even say that. Cortisol is produced by adrenal glands, and those glands sit on top of the kidney. You can see them right here. Maybe you can. Yeah, right here. So here are your kidneys on both sides of your body. They're kind of at your waistline, and the adrenals sit right on top. Okay. Next, we have insulin. And this one is produced by the pancreas, and it affects our blood sugar levels. Then we have estrogen. It's our reproductive hormone. It also affects other systems produced by the ovaries. And then later in life, it's actually your adrenal glands that produce estrogen. And then finally, we have our thyroid. And our thyroid affects our metabolic rate. It's involved in multiple hormones, and it's produced by the thyroid glands. Okay. So how are we going to approach this very fragile and complicated system of hormones? Well, first, we're going to create a competitive inhibition. And then how can we support healthy hormone levels? How do we maintain a healthy hormone balance? And then how do we adapt throughout the different ages and stages of life? So we're going to talk about that. I hope you guys are all familiar with this slide. You guys have all seen the wellness pyramid before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So the bottom four, we have ultimate control over, do we not? We choose what we put in our mouths. Eat right, nutrition, and then exercise. Only we're responsible for that, and we can control that. Rest and manage stress, that's also up to us. Reduce our toxic load. I do a whole class on that, right? So being aware of what that even means and how we can change that. Those bottom four, we have control over. And then the top two, well, the purple one we have a lot of control over too, actually. It's just split between lifestyle and healthcare, right? But the informed self-care is what you guys are doing tonight. You're here learning, you're becoming informed to take care of yourself, which you have control over that too. It is your lifestyle though that affects your health, right? So you could have all the knowledge in the world with the informed self-care, and if you don't apply it, then it's going to do you a whole lot of no good. But so the more time we spend on the bottom 4, the less time we spend in the top 2. So make sure that you're doing all those things that you can to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself. It's going to pay off for you later in life and even presently. So our bottom part of the pyramid is eat right. We want to eat leafy greens. We want to eat fruits, healthy fruits and vegetables. Anything unrefined from nature is good for us. It's good. Okay, pretty simple. Now, we also want to talk about how the Lifelong Vitality Pack is an adjunct to supporting us eating right. And we have a whole class on this, so I'm not going to dive into it too much as far as the nutrition part goes. And I'm not even going to talk too much tonight about VMZ because we're focusing on hormones. So I'm going to talk more about the XC omega and the alpha CRS. It's not to say VMZ isn't important because that's all our vitamins and minerals, and we need those for sure. But we also need to understand why the XC omega and the alpha CRS affect our hormones in certain ways. Okay, so our XC omega, our liver doesn't produce hormones, it's metabolizing them. Some things have to travel to the liver to get turned on to their active form so that they can go back into circulation. Okay, so the liver has to process estrogen like everything else. Everything has to go through the liver or the kidneys to do what it does in the body. So it's super important that we have a healthy liver and a healthy endocrine system overall, right? So when we're talking about estrogen, this one is specifically activated by the liver, and it's also metabolized by the liver. So once we're done with it, it needs to be gotten rid of, or it can become toxic in the body. So we need to support the liver and natural detoxification to help that process. And our healthy fats are also going to support our healthy production of these hormone messengers, specifically our sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. So those healthy fats and the XC omega are so key to the healthy production of these sex hormones. That's what we're talking about tonight. Next, our alpha CRS is all of the plant parts and the botanicals that are beneficial for our body processes. We are surrounded by hormones in our environment, you guys. Besides food, they are also in our personal care products. How many of you have heard of xenoestrogens? Put it in the chat. Have you heard of that word before? I really want you to become familiar with it. It's spelled X-E-N-O, estrogen. And you say it xenoestrogens. They're often synthetic things. They're made in a lab. They mimic estrogen, you guys. What does this look like for you? Okay, so you've got these fake estrogens, these synthetic estrogens, xenoestrogens floating around the bloodstream, and they are attaching to our receptor sites where the estrogen is supposed to go to. Can you see why that would be a problem? So it looks like we're estrogen dominant when we're actually estrogen depleted, because they are taking over the receptor sites where our real estrogen needs to go. That causes all kinds of problems. The xenoestrogen is considered a hormone disruptor. Maybe you've heard of that term before. Okay, you guys have not heard this. Oh, this is fun. I love it when I get to teach something new. Army knows about it. It's not extra estrogen, it's synthetic estrogen, but you have heard of it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. You guys are gonna love this then. Okay. So I am going to share then where you can find xenoestrogens, because if you don't know what they are, how can you avoid them? So for example, in our food, bovine growth hormone is very common in commercially grown beef, chicken, dairy, anything with dairy, anything made from dairy. So like ice cream, butter, cheese, milk, bovine growth hormone, packed with xenoestrogens. So how can you combat that? Buy meat that you know was humanely raised, and animal products from animals that were humanely raised, and look for grass-fed, organic, yeah, whenever you can. That's the kind of meat you want to buy. Second thing you can do, and there's a lot, but I've just got like the top 5. Anything that was sprayed with insecticides or pesticides, that's fruits and vegetables, right? So choose organic whenever you can. It's worth it, you guys. It's totally worth it, promise. Tap water has petroleum derivatives. And if you've heard me talk about, if you've gone to my Toxin Living class, we talk about petroleum and how it's a byproduct, and it's in so many things. It's in our tap water, you guys, we're drinking it, along with other things too. So I was actually just looking this up the other day because I'm like, I want to know what water filter to get. So that's what you do. You get a water filter. So there's a website called EWG. I encourage you guys to go look at it. And I went there the other day and it said that the reverse osmosis is the best one out there, but there are options depending on what your budget is, what you're after, things like that. So tap water is a big one. Okay, next, parabens. I talk about this too in my class. Paraben, the Toxin Living class, toxin-free living class. Parabens are in personal care products. So these xenoestrogens in the personal care products that we're putting on our skin are going directly to the tissue, you guys, without even passing through the liver for detoxification. So that makes them 100% absorbed by the body. And so they can be 10 times more potent than those that we consume orally. So buy doTERRA skincare. Buy stuff paraben free. Everything. Look for that word. It is a buzzword, paraben free. In fact, you'll see nowadays a lot of products will say that on there because they know now people are getting smart and they're not going to buy their product if it's got parabens in it, because pretty much everything did until people started waking up. Okay, and then we have phthalates, and those are found in soft plastics. It's a chemical that's used for the flexibility of plastic. So if you buy food that's wrapped in plastic, or you heat your food in a microwave in plastic, it's totally absorbing those phthalates into your food and you're eating them. So I actually rarely even use my microwave anymore. I've found myself, I've learned how to cook even leftovers on a stovetop. It's very easy, tastes way better. And then I store things in glass, no more plastic, as much as I can. So invest in glass. It's the plastics that are full of xenoestrogens. Was this helpful for you guys? Do you feel like you kind of have an understanding of what these are? So it's really no wonder that there's so many hormone imbalances out there when you know what xenoestrogens are and how they're disrupting the whole system. And people just don't know. They're not educated, but you guys are educated. So now you can make better decisions. So we want the real deal, don't we? We want the real estrogen on our receptor sites. So alpha CRS helps get the xenoestrogens out of our bodies and protects us against these free radicals. Xenoestrogen is a free radical too. These free radicals are metabolites that cause damage in the body. So when we use these supplements, it's so much more than nutrition, you guys. It's also protecting the body, okay? So they are the alpha CRS neutralizes those free radicals. They neutralize them and then they excrete them into the normal pathways, and our body can get rid of them naturally. Okay. All right. Now the Women's Health Kit. You guys familiar with this? If not, I'm going to introduce it to you. So we have 3 products in this kit: Clary Calm, the Bone Nutrient, and the phytoestrogen. The phytoestrogen is a really interesting product. It's a plant estrogen. And oh, by the way, competitive inhibition, I forgot to explain that. So that whole xenoestrogen thing is the competitive inhibition that I was talking about on the other slide. Like that's our first thing. We want to create competitive inhibition, meaning we want to inhibit the xenoestrogens from attaching to the receptor site. So we do that by taking products and eliminating the xenoestrogens and taking like the LLV and the oils to help clean up the receptor sites. And so that you get the real estrogen attaching to the receptor sites. Make sense? That's what competitive inhibition is. Okay. I'm looking in the chat. You guys have some good questions in here. Maybe Maggie can help answer ones you've got. Let's see. Army said, can we reverse, estrogens already absorbed? Yeah, totally. That's why we're here tonight. I'm teaching you guys how to do that. So the Lifelong Vitality is number one. And then we have the Women's Health Kit, which is also going to help with that. Air fryer. Yes, that's better than the microwave for sure. Because it's not using radioactive waves. It's a different process. Yeah, so it's better for sure. Cool. Okay. All righty. So where am I at my notes here? Oh, by the way, you guys, men also deal with this. Men get xenoestrogens too, and men also have estrogen, right? It's not as much as a woman, obviously, but we have testosterone and we just don't have as much as a man. But these imbalances can happen with both sexes, both genders. So phytoestrogen can be a product for both men and women, actually. The phytoestrogen is not an estrogen. It isn't, it's not estrogen. So it's not like you take the phytoestrogen instead of your estrogen. But here's what it does do. It can mimic estrogen in a helpful way. Because sometimes women will, so it has a mild estrogenic effect, right? It's not the same as estrogen. It has this estrogenic effect. And so people ask like, well, what about postmenopausal women being told by their doctors not to take estrogen? Because if you guys know much about estrogen supplements, there's been quite a buzz lately about that they can actually cause cancer. They're dangerous, right? When they're taken long term. So it's safe to take phytoestrogen because it's plant-based. It's all natural. The difference is simply the one is pharmaceutical and this one is not. That's it, right? So yes, it's safe to take phytoestrogen, even if your doctor told you you can't take estrogen. It's totally safe. All right. And it can also promote breast health. It's all plant parts, it's all natural. It supports the healthy release of testosterone as well. Okay. All righty. Okay, the bone nutrient. The bone nutrient helps us lay down bone mass. We want that. We don't want to be the ladies in our 80s, that rhymed, who if we fall down, break a hip, sucks. We want to have strong bones. So if we fall down, which we're not going to fall down because we're going to be strong and balanced, right, as we grow older. But you hear about that a lot with older women, is their bones become fragile. And when they fall, they can break a bone pretty easily. And the reason is because the calcium that we get growing up is the calcium we get. Like that's the calcium we get to keep. So this bone nutrient helps us reduce the risk of osteoporosis, which is weakening of the bones when calcium moves out of the bones. Bones are a matrix of material like this. Imagine like this, right? And when those spaces are empty, the mineral calcium isn't in there and they become weak and they break easily. So we want to make that matrix strong. Okay, you following me? We want to keep the calcium in the bones. Bones are weak when they lose calcium. So you could just take this as a calcium supplement as well. And it has a great dose of magnesium in it. Some people take it at night to help them fall asleep naturally as well. And then Clary Calm is a roller blend. And it includes clary sage and lavender and some other oils that are specific for hormone balancing. Helps for hot flashes. It can be used daily for hormone balancing and support, not just as needed for hot flashes. I know my mom carries this one around for her hot flashes and it helps her a ton. But if you use it every day, it's better, right? We know that about oils, like the more consistent you are, the better results you're gonna have. So feel free to roll this over your ovaries every morning, and or anywhere. If you're at work and that's not convenient, that's okay. Roll it on the back of your neck or on your wrists, but just put it on every day. Okay. So what else can we do to help our hormones balance themselves out? Well, the next one up on the wellness pyramid is exercise, remember? And exercise is so key for overall health. You guys, like, just move your body, There's so much benefit to it. Movement stimulates metabolism. It keeps calcium in our bones, which we just talked about how important that is. When we're doing weight-bearing exercises, we are literally keeping calcium in our bones. How many of you guys do weights? How many of you lift weights? I want to see it in the chat. Anybody? Adrian, yeah. Good. Shayna.
Mason and Isaac here that way. Mason and Isaac want to come.
Okay. So I've been lifting weights. I lifted weights, on and off my whole life, but definitely not really consistent and not, I didn't know a whole lot about what I was doing. So I've been on a program the last 6 months and I've lost 14 pounds and I haven't been doing I've hardly done any cardio, you guys. And I've learned a ton about how the body works, more protein, more weight bearing, and it decreases your metabolism. Increases your metabolism, which helps you naturally release weight. Women need to lift weights. You guys, lift weights, please. I'm begging you. Do weight bearing exercises. It is going to pay off in dividends for you. It means more than just, so exercise means more than your normal activity, right? Just get your heart rate up for a little bit. I listened to a podcast called Lifespan. It's really interesting. You guys might want to check it out. Dr. Sinclair. And he was saying that the latest studies show that all you need is 15 minutes of really high intensity working out a week. And then the rest of the time, just walk. Like 10,000 steps a day, move your body. That's it. And you're going to decrease your cardiac risk of heart disease. You're going to increase your lifespan, your health span. Anyway, there's so many benefits, and it doesn't have to be like this whole thing. Like, people get worried, oh, I got to go spend 2 hours. No, you don't. 15 minutes, 3 times a week, and then just walk around the block a few times. Okay, guys. Okay, manage stress. Stress leads to cortisol. Fight or flight is necessary, right? It's life preserving. But so back in the day when I was talking about the bear thing, right? Back in the day, it was literally life preserving. If a bear came, we had to run away from the bear. So this was an important hormone to let us know it's time to run. Now, but when the bear becomes a bad day at work or at school or at home, when the threat doesn't go away and becomes chronic, cortisol levels stay high, and that is damaging, okay? So oils are a fantastic tool for relaxation and decreasing our perceived stress. More on that in the emotions class. Maggie does a great job talking about that more in the emotions class. And then we have reducing toxic load. So that's our 4th one up the pyramid. And I teach that class. So come learn more on that one. And I kind of mentioned all that before. Okay, you're gonna have to talk to Marty because I'm teaching a class right now. Okay, buddy. Hey, can you close the door, Isaac? Can you close the door for me? Thank you. Winston invited his 2 friends over and they're just completely clueless that I'm teaching a class. Sorry, guys. Okay. So let's talk about the big 4. Cortisol, produced by our adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. These oils, thyme, grapefruit, and oregano, help support our adrenals and fertility by supporting progesterone. Okay. So our kidneys sit about at our waistline. And so if you want to put these oils directly over your kidneys, you can do that to target your adrenals. So let's see, what have I got in here for? Yeah. Okay, so you're going to put 10 drops of each of these in a 5 ml roller bottle with some fractionated coconut oil, and then you'll just apply to your kidneys and adrenals like twice a day. You can do it more often than that if you wish, but at least start with twice a day. Now you'll know that you'll see there are overlap, you guys, with other solutions out there, right? We know this, like there are a lot of solutions to the same problems. So you want to just try things and see what works with your chemistry and be flexible. You'll find it, I promise you. Just be patient. But this is a good one. These 3 oils specifically target progesterone and support your adrenals. Have you guys heard of adrenal fatigue? Heard of that? So this would help with that too. Okay, we can also use things like balance and serenity for relaxation because that helps decrease cortisol. There's always more than one answer. Okay, next, insulin. This is a biggie. I think this is the biggie of the big 4. So when you guys think of insulin, you probably think of diabetes, right? Or maybe you've heard of insulin resistance, and that's what triggers in your mind when you hear the word insulin. But we all have insulin. It's the key that unlocks our cells that allows glucose or blood sugar to move into our cells. And why is that important? Because our blood sugar in our cells is what provides energy for our cells. So it's important. So you can see this picture. How does it work? We have our high blood sugar, promotes insulin release. It goes to our pancreas, and then our insulin helps lower the blood sugar. And it's this whole magical dance. Like, I'm not going to go into this whole picture, but you guys can look at it. So our blood sugar goes higher after our food's digested, okay? And then it's broken down into glucose. And then all that's gone into our bloodstream, and now what's going to happen to it? Well, what happens to it depends a lot on what our pancreas does and how receptive our cells are to insulin. If we are making insulin, then we are going to have the key to open up the cells and get the sugar into the cells, and then they can use it for energy. If that doesn't happen, then we have a high circulating blood sugar, which is in and of itself damaging. Okay, too much blood sugar is not a good thing. When I was at the Diamond Retreat a couple weeks ago, I'm giving you guys a big hint about what's coming in September at convention. They were saying that high blood sugar, every time your blood sugar spikes or your glucose spikes, you age. So we want to be conscientious of the kind of foods we're eating, and especially the kinds of foods that makes our blood sugar spike. And then doTERRA is coming out with a product that's going to help lower that, the blood sugar spikes. Is that a good hint? Anyway, stay tuned in December or September when I do the new product class. Okay, so too much blood sugar is a bad thing. So that's why people that have diabetes often have foot problems, right? Because over time, high sugar in our blood makes our tissues deteriorate. They get neuropathy, where they can't feel the tips of their toes and their fingers sometimes. So they sometimes have injuries and they don't even know it, which is really dangerous because they can get infected and they don't even know that there's a problem happening on their foot. So, but what can happen over time, and especially with this strange dance with estrogen and we go into perimenopause, a lot of people gain weight. And what can happen is our cells start to become numb to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. The insulin is still there, but so we're not like a type 1 diabetic where we can't even make it. No, it's there in the body, but our cells can't use it because our cells have become numb to insulin, okay? So we've got circulating insulin, but we've also got high circulating sugar. So there are a few things that we can do to improve this. One is to avoid refined sugar because that's just adding to our blood sugar and making it higher. Exercise stimulates our metabolism, which helps to make our cells more reactive to insulin. Intermittent fasting allows our receptor sites to clean off, our body to renew and pump out healthy younger cells. Don't do that if you are diabetic, though. You have to be careful about fasting. But I just want to give you guys hope. It's very possible to get your blood sugar under control and avoid getting to that point, right? Diabetes is a totally controllable disease, and it's a preventable one, and it's a reversible one. It isn't a life sentence. So what products can we use for this? Slim and Sassy and Zendocrine. If you take the Z off Zendocrine, it's endocrine. Isn't that sneaky? So it's a great product to support all of your endocrine glands and organs. So Slim and Sassy is an oil, and you can put it in a capsule. You can put it in water. You could diffuse it. I haven't really diffused it, but you probably could, and it would probably smell nice. But it's generally used internally. You can also, though, use it for dry brushing. Have you guys ever done dry brushing before? That is a great way to stimulate your the lymphatic system. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Your lymphatic system. So you want to brush from your ankles all the way up to your heart, and you want to push everything from your head towards your heart. It's a natural dry bristle brush. You can find them on Amazon. You can just like do a search. You'll find a bunch. But it's a really wonderful thing to do to help stimulate your lymphatic system. And why do we care about that? Well, your lymphatic system is the body's way of taking care of all the leakage that happens in your circulatory system. Your tonsils, for example, are a part of your lymphatic system. We have them all around our body. They store our immune supportive cells, and it's also a circulatory pathway that's passive, unlike our arteries that have musculature that helps pump the blood in there to, get the blood where it needs to go. Our lymphatic system doesn't have a pumping system. So the only way we can get our lymphatic system to move, to circulate, is by moving. So that's another reason you want to exercise. Do you remember when I taught Aroma Touch, and at the very end I was telling you guys we move the feet like that? We're activating the lymphatic system. All of the toxins we just released from the Aroma Touch, we are now helping the body to naturally release and get into the circulatory pathways through the lymphatic system and like excrete them through the natural pathways of the body. Okay, so the squeeze of our muscles when we work out helps push everything through the lymphatic system. So it's important that we move and jump up and down. It's a good idea. You might want to go to the bathroom first. I've had that problem when I do jump rope at the gym. But jumping up and down is really excellent to get your lymphatic system moving. Okay, let's see. So as we get older, our fluids wind up in their extracellular spaces. They get reabsorbed into that lymphatic system, but they rely on our muscles, the squeeze of our muscles, to move the fluid back up towards the heart where it gets back into the bloodstream. And then what needs to get excreted gets back into the normal pathway to get excreted. So I think I explained that pretty good. So dry brushing is great. Slim and Sassy in your water is great. Or you can take the soft gel if you don't like the taste of it. Totally fine. Yeah, that's insulin. I hope that helps you guys. So we also have gum. It's another way to get some sassy into your system. Okay, finally, we have estrogen. Not finally, this is our third one, our third biggie, estrogen. So it's not that progesterone isn't important, it's really important, but estrogen is the big player in our menopausal issues, perimenopausal issues. So they are both progesterone and estrogen are going to decrease as we get older, but estrogen has a lot of effect on different parts of our system. So one of the ways that we can help support that is by using the floral oils, magnolia, jasmine, rose, neroli, and even clary sage. Clary sage is a little less flowery. It's more of a lavender scent, but it's really a good one for hormone balancing. And if you guys have had used Clary Calm, it's one of the key ingredients in that blend. So magnolia is apparently the solution for midlife rage. When I heard that, I was like, really? But that's what I heard. So if you need more patience, use magnolia, neroli as well. All of these oils are ovary supporting and therefore estrogen supporting. Clary sage isn't in the touch roller because of the Clary Calm version where you can get it there. Okay. So, and just so you know, you can purchase all three things in the women's kit separately. You don't have to buy them as a kit, but it's a little bit of a discount when you do. Okay. And then finally, we have our thyroid hormone. The thyroid produces not one, but 4 different hormones, and actually more than that, but 4 big ones. T3, T4, calcitonin, and thyroid releasing hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, and then T3 and T4. So it's involved in so many processes of the body, and many women deal with thyroid issues. So let's talk a little bit about this. Some of these hormones are in a different form because they are activated into the form in which they can actually do things in the body. And some of them go into different forms once they are doing their job and such. So it's a really complicated system. So this recipe here helps thyroid support, and it doesn't matter if you're hypo or hyper. This is the beauty of oils, right? With pharmaceuticals in the past, there was no way we could give a patient that had hypothyroid a medication that we generally use for hyperthyroid. It would mess them up. But this is just a good example of how oils help our body to do what it would optimally do under normal circumstances anyway, optimal circumstances anyway. Okay, so it's helping to balance the body. It doesn't matter where it's at. The oils just help the body get balanced. If our internal and external environments were perfect, then we wouldn't have an imbalance of hormones, would we? But everything would be perfect, but it's not. So we want to use oils and other things to help balance everything back out. And they fluctuate, like we said, they're not static. So using these 4 oils are a great way to help the thyroid be supported. Okay, so 10 ml roller, 10 drops of each, and put it over your thyroid 2 to 3 times a day. Do you guys know where your thyroid is? You know where this little notch is in your neck? It's just right about there. So if you put it around here, you're good. This is your thyroid. Okay. All right, and you can do more than that. It doesn't have to be just 5 times or 2 times a day. Okay, and then finally, we have Whisper. Have you guys tried Whisper yet? This is like one of my favorites. And I think it's the most perfume-like of all of the blends. There are a couple that have come out recently that are also kind of along those lines, but Whisper's been around for almost since the beginning. And I wear it literally like a perfume. It's very feminine, it's soft, it's beautiful, and it does all these other things for you. It's not like going to give you this toxic gag where, you know, when you walk in the mall by the perfume stores and it gives you a massive headache. It's not going to do that because it's natural, not a bunch of chemicals. And it works with your body chemistry. So it's going to be a little different. It might smell different on you than it does me. And that's how all perfumes work anyway. It supports a healthy libido. It reduces PMS symptoms and hot flashes. So not only do you smell good, it's helping you feel good too. All right. I think that's it, you guys. How did I do? 45 minutes. To control your hormones is to control your life. Very serious. Would you guys agree? All right. So if you're interested in knowing about some of the resources that this presentation is from, Brilliant Solutions is the name of Laura Jacobs' company, I guess you could say. She's a doTERRA leader. She's like a double diamond or something. She's one of the smartest people I know. She is very, very good at what she does, and she teaches in a beautiful way. So if you want to look her up, just go to Vimeo and look up Brilliant Solutions on Vimeo, and you'll find a bunch of her recordings. And I think she releases them. I think she does them every Monday. So she's not our upline, but she is just someone that's big in doTERRA, and she's someone I really admire. And I've listened to lots. Whenever she speaks at convention or leadership or anywhere, I am for sure going to be there. She's that kind of person. She's so brilliant. That's why she called herself Brilliant Solutions. She's smart. Okay, and then this other lady, Dr. Maritza Snyder, she's also a top doTERRA leader, and she has a couple of books out there about hormones. And they're called, let's see, The Essential Oil Hormone Solution, and then a new book out called The Menopause Solution. And then she does an annual hormone summit every year online. I think it's online and maybe in person too, I don't know. So if you want to look into her, she's a great one to follow on Instagram, Facebook. Really, really smart lady. So hopefully that helps you guys get even more information about hormones. Okay, you guys have any questions? Let me look at your chat here. Did I miss something important?
I have a question, Kendra.
Okay.
For the what's this? Hold on. For the estrogen ovaries slide where you have magnolia, jasmine, rose, neroli, and clary sage, do you layer them or do you just pick one?
Oh, you don't have to use all of them. Yeah, just pick one or two and use them as you feel inspired to, whichever one you're drawn to.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I personally love jasmine. And then I know people that are like, I can't stand jasmine. I'm like, how can you not stand jasmine? What's wrong with you? But it's such a personal thing. Like, you know, we're all drawn to different things. So yeah, like magnolia for me isn't my favorite, or neroli, but I like jasmine and rose. Those are really nice to me. So just do what you're drawn to. Use that.
I mix Whisper and Magnolia, and it's just amazing scent.
Oh, I haven't tried that. I might like Magnolia more if I mixed it with Whisper. I do love Whisper. Okay.
Did you have a slide with oils for estrogen?
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Hold on. I'll share it. It's all the floral oils primarily. Although celery seed is also a good one for uterine support. That's not flowery. If you're not into florals, that's an option for you too. Celery seed. Okay. So while Maggie's gonna find our winner, we're gonna pick a winner. So what should I give away? I was like, Clary Calm or Whisper? Barb's like, Whisper.
Whisper. Whisper.
You guys want Whisper? Okay, Whisper it is. Okay, she's gonna get that ready while I find my other slides for the other part of our class we always do. The joy of sharing oils very fast. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have this up. I forgot. Never fear, it's right here. Okay. Did you guys, let me look in the chat and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Army, does Whisper have a dainty scent like Beautiful? It's a little bit stronger than Beautiful, as in it'll stay longer. It does stay all day. I think it's the ylang ylang in there that makes it stay. Oh, Tina, so we went, okay, so you got those, Tina, the oils for estrogen. All right. Good, good, good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Oh, good. Thanks, Maggie. Maggie's so great. She's helping you guys out. Okay, I think we're good. If there's something, let me know that I've missed. Okay. So, joy of sharing oils, guys. What the heck? All right. You seeing that? Joy of sharing oils? Okay. So 3 types of people, right? The first type of person that joins doTERRA is someone who wants to live the wellness lifestyle. They're interested in just changing the way that they're living. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're ready for a change. They are totally plugged into everything. No, all the education is free, and they're in my customer Facebook group. They get wellness consults. They get whatever they need to support them in that. The type 2 person is someone who shares oils with friends and family, sometimes casually, sometimes more intentionally. And sometimes they'll share enough that they get their products paid for, and we call that free healthcare. Because that's what your oils are, your healthcare system, right? And then the type 3 person, and the type 2 person, generally, someone else teaches the classes for them or shares they might share the oils, but we actually teach them. Like I would teach a class for them or do a 1-to-1 or something like that. So if type 2 is you, then let me or your upline know that you would like to share, and we'll walk you through those steps. And you get this awesome keychain when you host a class, and we fill it up with as many samples, vials as you have at your class, as you have people at your class. And they're the big vials, not these little ones. They're like twice as big. Okay. And then the third type of person is someone who wants to build a doTERRA business and replace or multiply their income, which is what I do, which is what Maggie's doing, and Emily, all these people you've met. And some of you on this call are doing that now too. You're working towards that. And so it's an incredible way to live, and we get to help people, support people in their wellness goals along the way. It's very rewarding. And so if you're interested in that, then we have a plan for you. So why doTERRA, why now? The need for alternative income has never been greater. doTERRA is thriving in an economy that is not thriving, and people are recognizing the need to take greater responsibility for your health. That's my favorite one. I love seeing people wake up and go, you know what? I wonder if I could feel better. I think I'm going to look into this. And they don't rely on their doctors just giving them a pill anymore. They understand that there's more to health than just masking the symptoms. That's super exciting to me, you guys. All right, why doTERRA, why now? Largest essential oil company in the world. We did that in 7 years. We are the most tested. We have the most tested and most trusted oils on the market. We are used by doctors and hospitals worldwide, where studies are constantly being done. And these are studies that are being released in peer-reviewed journals, you guys, which is the highest standard of, study information being put out there. It's where the doctors and nurses go to look for, what are the studies on this product? Our oils are ethically and sustainably sourced. We work directly with the farmers. There's no middleman, so that we can pay our farmers a really good income, a sustainable income. We have over 120 markets open. The latest one is India. If you guys know anyone in India, please let me know. Or connections to India. Compensation plan is genius. It truly is. We have a high retention rate of 65%. That's customers that order regularly. We are a privately owned company. We always will be. doTERRA will never sell because they want to keep the culture pure. We have an incredible ownership team, and we are debt-free with no outside funding. This is unheard of, you guys. especially for $1 billion company. So questions you may have, how do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? And what is the next step? Well, this is how you make money in doTERRA. We sample people, then we teach them, then we enroll them, then we support them. And we just keep doing that over and over and over again. You guys are in the support part right now because you're all enrolled. Isn't it wonderful? These are the income opportunities. You can kind of decide where you want to go with doTERRA. The sky is literally the limit, and even there's no limit. It's awesome. So you can look at this. We can look at it with you closer in a private meeting if you want, and you can kind of decide, hey, if I had an extra $500 a month, that would be epic. That would change my life. We can start there. I just went to Diamond Retreat, and there was a gal there who showed us how you can help someone do that in a matter of 3 months. That interests you guys? Pretty cool, right? All right. How much time is involved? Well, if you want your oils paid for, so you're like a type 2, maybe 3 to 5 hours a week. If you want to supplement your income, 5 to 15 hours a week. If you want to replace your income, we're looking at 15 to 30 hours a week. And that is flexible. Could this work for me? Well, are you passionate about oils? Do you love people? Can you follow a system and get things done? If you answered yes, then sure, could absolutely work for you. So what's the next step? If you have a wholesale account, you need to upgrade to a wellness advocate and then set your LRP at 100. That qualifies you for commissions. That's it. There's no buy-in. And then you are using those oils yourself. It's not like you're buying inventory to sell. Reach out for help. We'll plug you into all of our resources and then start making your list and sample everyone. If you want to change the world, you have to empower people. That's the only way you make any permanent, effective change on the world. That was by David Sterling, doTERRA founder and CEO. Okay, guys.
All right, do we have a drum roll for our winner?
Drum roll.
It's Barb Haviland.
What? She's the one that wanted it. That's so
That's awesome.
You manifested that, girl.
And I actually did the number like way early in the class. So you totally like manifested that.
Awesome.
Love it.
I
That's
love
so
Whisper.
cool. Awesome. Okay. You guys are awesome. So this was an hour. Sorry, went a little over, but was it worth it? Was it okay? Did you guys learn
Yes.
something tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
was great.
Totally worth it.
Good. Good. I'm glad. It's a fun class. It's a good one. Okay. I'm just looking at your guys' chat. So if you are done, you can totally hop off. I just want to make sure I don't miss something. But so thank you for coming. I'll stop the recording and we'll see you next week. We'll start over again. We're gonna, if you're already registered for, like you're here because you're registered, right, for continuing ed, it will continue for you. You'll continue to get the emails and all that. But we're gonna create a new, like, and part of our funnel and stuff is gonna change a little bit. And so we want more people who didn't come this round to come next round. So if you know somebody who missed out, please send them the link. It's in Abundantly Whole. It's the same link as before. It's in Abundantly Whole. It's a pinned post. There's a link in there. And please send it to them. We would love to have them. And even sometimes when people aren't enrolled, if it's a topic that they're really, really interested in, I'm okay if they come to a class. I don't really want them registering because they're not a customer, and that's a perk of being a customer. But if you want to invite someone to just a specific topic, I can send you the Zoom link for that night for them, and then they could come to that. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks for showing up. So many of you are here every week. So give yourselves a pat on the back. You guys rock, truly. Oh, I'm stopping the recording. I was going to do that.
Yeah, I try to be here every week. I was really upset that